So recently I've felt myself venturing more and more into the custom gaming peripheral market, and I've so far checked out a few really interesting gaming mice. Card up here. But now it's time for the keyboards. Now please bear with me, as this is my first time really talking about something like this, and custom keyboards where a user would buy separate boards, keys, dampening foam switches and all of that has never really been something I've really been too interested in. But the custom keyboard industry has grown exponentially of late, and these new weird and wonderful brands like EPOMAKER have seen a gap in this market and have started mass producing these types of keyboards, which has also meant that the prices have been absolutely slashed. And to be honest with you, I'm all for it. EPOMAKER sent me their AULA F75 keyboard to take a look at, and really I'm so happy that they did. This keyboard feels so good when typing on it, and yes, a lot of my work, especially on YouTube these days, is writing scripts for videos like this one. So the EPOMAKER AULA F75 is a 75% sized keyboard, which basically means there's no number pad on the right and the frame is rather small too. It's a nice compact size that looks neat on the desk, and being wireless by design, it looks super tidy. There is an included 2.4 GHz dongle, and it does come with a charging cable too for the 4000 mAh battery. Now I would have liked this battery life to have been a little bit bigger, as I find myself reaching for the cable a little too often for my liking, but it's certainly not the worst I've encountered. You can also use Bluetooth with the keyboard too, and this is toggled using a switch on the rear of the keyboard, which you can flick left and right depending on the connection that you want. The AULA F75 comes in several color schemes, and the one I have right here is called light blue. Now you might be scratching your head because most of this keyboard is actually white, as you can see, but you can see a few light blue and black keys dotted about the place. Now the keycaps are made from double shot PBT and feel smooth, although not really smooth enough to slip when hovering around the WASD keys and stretching to the right control or left shift while gaming. Now the overall color though is white, and the different color schemes also mean different switches. Now my switches on the light blue version are Leobog Reaper pre-lubricated switches, though you can also choose TTC Crescent switches, Leobog Ice Vein switches, and Leobog Greywood V3 switches, again depending on the light blue, black, green, or sea salt blue color schemes. And there will be a link down below to the EPOMAKER website to see the different options. The board inside is a 1.2mm single key slotted PCB, which aids with the accuracy of each keystroke and also the registry when touch typing. Now I've been using this keyboard really admittedly now for about 2.5 to 3 weeks, and it hasn't missed a beat. It's been absolutely solid. There is very minimal flex too to the frame, despite it being made primarily from plastic. Even in the highest angle typing position, it never felt cheap or like it was going to break or snap on me, even when slamming through keys during gaming sessions. The AULA F75 has a gasket structure, not leaf gasket though. Why they advertise this, I'm not too sure, but this gasket structure aids in giving users a comfortable typing experience, and yes, as said before, this is a strong point for the keyboard, especially paired with these Leobog Reaper switches. There are also 5 layers of padding to absorb any kind of shock when using the keyboard. Now 2 of these layers are pour-on foam. There's an IXPE switch pad, a PED sound enhancement pad, and a silicone pad at the very bottom. This is really what gives this keyboard that thocky sound when typing. Now just listen to this. Now I also wanted to quickly point out the 2 different modes that this keyboard has, controlled by the knob that can be found on the top right hand side of the AULA 75. By default for me anyway, this keyboard was in what's called office mode. This gives the keyboard an overall white light shining from the board, and the knob acts as a volume knob, which can be quite useful. Hold the knob down for 3 seconds and it switches to gaming mode, where you get RGB effects. Now in this mode, the knob stops controlling the volume and instead controls the brightness of the keyboard, as well as the ability to cycle through different lighting effects. What I did with mine here is set the keyboard RGB in gaming mode and switch back to the office mode so I could still have the volume control on the knob and a nice rainbow effect on the keyboard itself. But in terms of customization, the switches are hot swappable, making switching out your switches fairly easy. However, this is really about as far as customization options go. Well, outside of keycaps of course, and also switches. I couldn't find any real way to open up the keyboard easily. It's housed in a solid chunk of plastic and will probably require quite a large amount of brute force and maybe possibly breaking the housing to get into it. There is a video I've seen on YouTube. I will also add it to the description where someone does this and they do in fact crack the frame of the keyboard by opening it up. And that's not really something that I am prepared to do at this stage anyway, purely because I love this thing as it is. I don't feel the need to customize it any further, and also I don't really think that this is the point of this keyboard either. It's not very expensive, coming in at $69 on the EPOMAKER website, as well as places like AliExpress. If you wanted to customize a keyboard, I'd recommend starting from scratch anyway to get what you want in terms of feel and sound profile. But if you're looking to venture into the more custom keyboard type market without all of the hassle of starting from scratch, then the EPOMAKER X AULA F75 Mechanical Gaming Keyboard is a great place to start. Thank you so much for checking out this video review of the EPOMAKER AULA F75 keyboard. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to keep up with our latest tech and gaming videos, and also let us know in the comments down below what you think about this keyboard. Is this something that you would purchase for yourself or use on your gaming rig? Or let us know what you would go for, or have you started building a keyboard from scratch? What parts are you using? Let's start a discussion in the comments. As I say, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.